Hey guys, are you ready to get started with your GoPro Max 2? In this beginner's guide for the GoPro Max 2, I'm going to show you how to get your camera all set up and share a bunch of my favorite tips and tricks to help you go from setting up all the way through to filming and editing some clips. I'm excited to show you guys around the GoPro Max 2, which is a 360 camera by GoPro that shoots 8K 360 video and has some really nice features and great image quality. In this video, I'm going to show you guys your way around the GoPro Max 2 so you can understand how to use it. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Jordan Hetrick. I'm the best-selling author of books about how to use GoPro cameras and other action cameras. I've also got a great book for the GoPro Max 2 that walks you through every step you need, and it's a great reference to have in your hand. But now let's get your camera out and get started with the GoPro Max 2. First things first, let's just get the camera out of the box so I can show you what comes in the kit here for the GoPro Max 2. First, you can just open up the box and slide out this little container that contains the GoPro Max 2 camera. In the box here, you'll find some paperwork and some GoPro stickers. You can just set that to the side. That just gives you a little bit more information about what GoPro offers. Under here, you have the GoPro Max 2 camera, of course. You can peel off this protective packaging from the sides of the camera and also from the back touchscreen. And this here is the GoPro Max 2 camera. It's got these lens caps on there right now to protect those lenses, so I suggest you just keep those on while we set up the camera. You've also got this USB-C cable for charging the camera, the Max 2 battery, a GoPro mounting buckle with an adhesive mount and a thumb screw. And I'll show you more about these when we talk about mounting your Max 2. This is everything that comes with the GoPro Max 2. And it's a very basic kit, so you're definitely going to want to get some more accessories to really take advantage of what a 360 camera like the Max 2 can do. GoPro Max 2 also requires a microSD card, which is not included with the camera. It's really important to get a microSD card that's compatible with the GoPro Max 2's 360 files because these are really large files. And a compatible microSD card is going to prevent the camera from freezing up while you're recording. I'll put a link for some of those microSD cards in the video description below so you can pick one up if you don't have one. You'll probably also want to pick up an invisible selfie stick like this one, which is GoPro's, or you can use one that I'll link in the video description below. There's a few great options. You can check those out when we talk about mounting. Next, I just want to highlight a few of GoPro Max 2's main features that really stand out to me, just so you can get excited about what you're going to be working with here. GoPro Max 2 offers true 8K resolution. That's just going to provide you with great image quality. You can record with GoPro Max 2 using both lenses, or there's also some really great single lens modes that I'll show you when we go through the camera tour. It's also got these removable, replaceable lenses, which is a huge game changer with the 360 camera. If you damage your lenses, you can just take those right off and replace it with a new one. Max 2 also has this nice small compact size, which is great for mounting, which I'll show you guys when we talk about mounting your Max 2. This just makes it really easy to capture some immersive 360 footage. Also, if you are enjoying this video so far, please like the video and subscribe so you can stay tuned for more videos that I'll have about Max 2 and all of the other great action cameras on the market. Now let's get the camera set up so it's ready to use. So go ahead and grab that USB-C cable and also the battery for your Max 2. Also grab the microSD card that you're going to use to store your camera's files. The battery and microSD card go under this door on this side of the camera here. So to open that door, just lift down on this tab on the bottom. Kind of have to use your fingernail to pull it down. And as you're pulling down, lift the door up. And inside there, this is the battery compartment and microSD card slot. The microSD card goes in this little slot right here. So just take your microSD card and insert it just like this. Push it all the way down so it clicks into place, and it should look like that when it's fully inserted. Next, take the battery so that both logos are facing towards you and insert the battery in the camera just like that. And it should fully seat all the way into place down there in the camera. Now grab the USB-C cable and plug it into the port right here, and plug the other end of the cable into a power source such as a computer or a wall charger. When the camera begins charging, this red light will come on. You can either charge the GoPro Max 2 batteries in the camera or get an additional battery charger where you can charge them outside of the camera. And that's really convenient so you can have spare batteries ready to go when the batteries run out on this one. You can press pause on this video while the battery is charging. When the camera is finished charging, that light will turn off, and that's when you know your battery is fully charged on the GoPro Max 2. Remove the USB-C cable and close this door securely. As long as that side door is completely shut, GoPro Max 2 is waterproof without an additional case. However, if you're going to be filming underwater, you do need to use a dive case that's going to make the videos come out clear. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the mounting section. Next, power the camera on by pressing the power button right here, and the camera will power on. It's going to prompt you to select your language, so just scroll up or down to select your language and tap the check mark. Then there's some legal stuff you'll need to read and agree to. Then it's going to ask you if you want GPS on or off. I recommend just starting with it off unless you're actually going to be using it because it will take more battery life. It's going to ask if you want voice control on or off. I recommend just turning it off for right now. Now it's going to prompt you to connect to the GoPro Quik App. We're going to use the GoPro Quik App on your phone or your tablet to update the camera's firmware. So if you don't have the GoPro Quik App, just go into your app store and download GoPro Quik. It's a free download, and you don't have to have an account to use it. You can use it as a guest. If you do have an account, you probably already know the drill. Once the app is downloaded, it should prompt you to connect to the camera since your camera is in pairing mode. You can follow the prompts to connect your camera to the GoPro Quik App. If for some reason it's not prompting you, you can just tap on this little GoPro icon on the bottom right corner, and it's going to open up a dialog to connect a new camera. So you can select the Max 2, and then it will open up that dialog and you should be able to connect. Once your camera is connected, it's going to prompt you to do a firmware update. This is going to give you the latest features on the GoPro Max 2, so I always recommend you keep your camera updated to the latest firmware. You can press pause on this video while you go ahead and follow the prompts through to update your camera. The firmware is going to download to your phone and then transfer over to the GoPro Max 2 wirelessly. Once the firmware is fully updated, you can just swipe up to close out of the GoPro Quik app, and I'll show you that later. Right now I want to give you a camera tour of the GoPro Max 2 so you can know your way around this camera. For those of you new to 360 cameras, I just want to give you a quick overview of how the GoPro Max 2 works. So basically it records out of these two different lenses. There's one on each side of the camera. Each side records up to a 4K video, and these two images are stitched together in the camera. Because the two hemispheres are stitched together into a full sphere, what's in between the two lenses disappears from the shot. And that's how you get that invisible selfie stick effect. GoPro Max can record full 360 spherical videos or also just out of one of the lenses. These replaceable lenses are great because if you damage it, you get a scratch or anything, you can just unscrew this lens and replace it with a new one. So you just unscrew it, pop it right off, and you can pop on a new lens. You do need to use GoPro Max 2 with the lens on it. Without the lens, the videos will be blurry because that's an actual lens, not just a lens cover. You've also got this nice heat sink here for absorbing some of the heat from this camera. It does get really hot when you record. And you've also got two microphone openings here, as well as an LED light to show if you're recording and when your camera's powered on. On the back of the camera here, you have the other lens, of course, as well as a microphone that drains water easily, and a touch screen right here that you're going to use to change all of your settings. On the top of the camera, you've got three microphones, as well as a shutter button to start and stop recording. And on the bottom of the camera, you have these mounting fingers, which can be folded out to mount your camera to a GoPro style mount, or fold it in to attach them to a 1/4-20" thread, which I'll show you guys when we talk about mounting. On the side here, you have the door that we already opened for the battery and microSD card and USB-C port. And on this side, you also have a speaker for when you're playing back your videos and the power button right here. Turn on and off your camera and to change modes. Now you can turn your camera on by pressing the power mode button right here. So I can show you a tour around the touchscreen, show you all the different settings and modes available on GoPro Max 2. First, I'll just show you what's on the main screen here. On the top right corner, you can see an icon that shows the battery percentage remaining on your camera. On the top here where it says 360, that's showing you whether you're in the 360 modes that will record out of both of the lenses, or if you're in the single lens mode, which will record out of just one lens at a time. To change that, all you need to do is pull down from the top of the screen. And right here where it says camera mode, you can tap on that. It'll switch over between single lens mode or 360 mode. And then you can swipe up to go back to that main screen. This icon right here shows that you're in video mode. If you swipe the other way, it'll go over to the time-lapse modes. And if you swipe all the way to the right, it will go over to photo mode. So this is the 360 photo mode. I'm just gonna swipe back to the middle of the screen and go back to the 360 video mode. You can also switch between the modes by pressing the power mode button here on the side of the camera. Now we'll scroll through the different modes available on the Max 2 camera. This icon in the corner shows you the amount of storage remaining on your microSD cards in the camera in the current mode at the current settings. The circle icon is called a shortcut icon, and you can have up to 4 shortcut icons on the screen at any one time. These are the ones that just come here by default. This one's a self-timer, so it'll delay the recording after you press the shutter button. This one here is to flip the screen so you can see the view out of the other lens, because you can't actually drag around on the screen to adjust the view. If you try to drag around on screen, it'll just change between the different modes. This icon here is the settings icon, so if you press that, you can go straight into the settings for that mode. In the middle display here, that shows the preset, and it also shows the current settings for that preset. If you tap on that, you can see a list of other presets available. I'll go through what those different presets are in just a minute. You can also hold down on this here to go straight into the settings for that current preset. Then you can go back to the main screen by pressing this little arrow right here, or you can always press the mode button on the side of the camera, and that'll go back to the main recording screen. Also, if you want all these icons to go away, you can just tap on the screen. They'll go away, and then tap the screen again, and they'll come back. And then if you scroll up from the bottom of the screen, that will show you the media that you've already recorded on your camera. Now let's talk about some of the different presets and modes available here on the GoPro Max 2. So right now we're in 360 video mode, and we're in the video preset. You can see that by tapping this, like I just showed you. 360 video mode is probably the most common mode you're going to use with GoPro Max 2, because it's going to record that full 360 spherical video, and it's going to just be a regular video where you start and stop recording. There are some settings that you'll want to change for video mode, so if you hold down on this, you can go right into that settings dialog, and I'll show you some of the main settings here. There's two different color profiles you can use. There's standard or log. Standard is the one that most of you are going to want to use if you just want some nice colors straight out of the camera. Log color is a flat color profile that you can adjust, but you're going to have to add a lot of color to that, and that's more for people who are interested in color grading their footage. So if you're just starting out, go with the standard profile. Next, you've got resolution. The resolution is the size of your video. There's 3 different options here, from 8K to 5.6K and also 4K. And when we talk about resolution in a 360 camera, We're talking about the full resolution of that 360 sphere. Typically, you're using that full sphere to reframe to a flat 4K or 1080p video. There are some reasons you'll want to use the lower resolution, and frame rate is one of them. When you record in 8K, you can only record in a frame rate of up to 30 frames per second. The frame rate tells you how many frames, kind of like pictures, are recorded each second. When you play a video back, it has to be played back in at least 24 frames per second for that video to look smooth. That's why if you want slow motion, you'd want to drop your resolution down to 5.6K at 60 frames per second, and that'll give you the possibility of slow motion when you play back your videos. You can also do 4K at 90 frames per second, and that'll give you even slower motion, but you are losing resolution. So you can't zoom in as far on the videos and have them still look good. Right now, I'm just gonna go back to 8K at 30 frames per second. One more thing I just wanted to note, if you are recording in 8K at 30 frames per second, you're gonna wanna record mostly clips. So you're gonna wanna start and stop recording as often as you can. Longer videos will cause the camera to overheat after about 20 minutes, and also they're just such huge files that it's better to work with smaller files and shorter clips. GoPro Max 2 has some capture settings where you can schedule your camera to turn on at a certain time and record for a certain time. So if you want to record a sunrise, for example, but you might be sleeping, you can just schedule that to turn on. And that's a pretty cool feature. And then you've got the Pro Tune settings. The Pro Tune settings offer you some more customization so that you can fine tune the image quality of your video. And you'll see here it says bit depth. Bit depth determines the amount of colors that's recorded in your video. So if you change that up to 10-bit color, you're gonna get a lot more colors when you record your video, and that's just gonna allow you more color correction and adjustments when you go to edit your videos. You've also got some other settings like shutter and EV comp and setting the ISO. You might also wanna change the color. There's a few different color setting options. So you've got vibrant color, which is gonna have brighter colors, natural color, which is gonna just be a more natural, kind of even tone, and then you've got flat, which is just gonna take most of the color out of the shots, and that's gonna be if you wanna color grade and adjust your videos later. You could use that, or you can use log color. Then there's one other setting here you should definitely change, which is bitrate. So if you tap on that, set the bitrate up to high, and that's gonna give you a higher amount of information that's recorded with your videos, which is just gonna give you higher quality videos. We wanna get the best quality videos out of GoPro Max 2, and that's gonna help you get that. Always make sure with all your different presets, you go and set that bitrate to high, just so you can get the maximum quality. And I have those set to high in all of the presets that I have in my book. And then there's the shortcuts here where you can determine which shortcuts you want on that screen like I showed you before. Once you have your settings chosen, you can just press the shutter button on the top of the camera and start recording. And it's gonna start recording that full 360 spherical video. It doesn't really matter what you see on the screen because you're gonna reframe this later and pick out the portions of the video you wanna see. When you're done recording, press the shutter button again, you can stop recording. You can also use voice control to start recording by swiping down from the top of the screen and turning on this icon here. That's the voice control icon. You can choose your language. And now you can start and stop recording using voice control. So now you can say, GoPro start recording. And when you're finished, say GoPro stop recording. Since we're in 360 video mode, I'll show you some of the other presets available while we're here. You've also got the POV preset, which is gonna automatically focus your video in a forward direction, like a POV shot, so it's gonna show kind of what you're seeing. You'll see that POV view when you bring your videos into GoPro Quik App. You've also got a selfie preset that will point back towards you when you bring your videos into the GoPro Quik App, and a looping video that you can use for dash cams, for example, where the video will just overwrite itself after a certain set amount of time. Then you can also add a new preset here, and I definitely recommend adding new presets so you can have those ready to go and you don't have to go in and change your settings. In my book, I have different presets for you for slow motion, for example, so you can just switch between those presets. And I really like how GoPro Max 2 has these presets available for you. Next, let's check out some of the other different main modes here available on GoPro Max 2. So if you swipe over this way, it'll go to the 360 photo mode. And within there, you also have some presets. So you have single photo, where you can just take a single 360 spherical photo, which can then be reframed, or you can add movement to it and add some animations. So in 360 photo mode, you can take 29 megapixel spherical 360 photos. You've also got bursts, so if you want to take a burst of a few photos in a really short amount of time. You've also got 360 night photo. If you go the other way around, you have the time-lapse modes. And all of these modes are used to speed up time. That's what a time-lapse is. It's basically recorded over a longer period and played back over a shorter period of time. This gives the effect that time speeds up, and it's a really cool thing to add to your videos. There's quite a few different presets available here under the 360 mode, so if you tap on the icon there, you've got time warp, where you can record a stabilized hyperlapse, so you can hold your camera and move around as you go, and it's gonna speed up that time for a really cool effect. You've also got star trails, where you can set your camera on a tripod, and you can record the stars moving through the sky. And it takes a long time to record these, but it's a really cool effect, and the results you get are amazing. Then you've got light painting, which can be done in a shorter amount of time. You can hold a light stick or a candle or any kind of light source and write with light through the image, and it's going to create that 360 spherical video of your light painting. You've also got vehicle lights, which you can use for long traffic scenes where it's going to show the car lights kind of extended out and lengthened because of that long exposure. Then you've got time-lapse video, which can be used for scenic time lapses with your camera mounted on a tripod, and also night-lapse video. So if you want to record a night lapse at night with longer exposures, but you're not looking for the star trail effect, you can use that. And all of these are available in up to 8K 360 spherical video for really high resolution, nice quality, and you're going to get some cool effects using this mode. If you do want some more inspiration ideas, I've got the book for GoPro Max 2 that talks about all of these different presets, and it gives you settings for them. Now let's switch over to single lens mode. So if you swipe down from the top of the screen and tap on this camera mode here, it'll go back to single lens. And now you've got the single lens modes available. So we're in single lens video mode. If you tap on this, you can see there's just one preset here, which is going to record out of either lens. It's going to record a flat video that's ready to share. Because Max 2 has a super wide angle lens, you can get some really great single lens videos using Max 2. And I'm just going to hold down on this to go into the settings and show you some of the settings available. And you've got different aspect ratios available since that's already going to be a framed shot. And you can record these in 4K at up to 60 frames per second. What's really nice about these single lens modes is you have a lot of digital lenses available, from the linear, which is going to be a tighter view, all the way to the max hyper view, which is going to be a super wide angle lens. It's going to have great stabilization. It's going to be great for those POV shots, especially when you just want your videos that are ready to share. You can see this shortcut icon right here is the horizon lock icon. So you can lock that horizon. You can rotate your camera full 360 degrees, and that horizon is going to stay completely level. Then you can just choose which lens you want by tapping this little icon here, and it'll switch between the two lenses. Whichever one you see there when you're recording is the lens that's going to be saved and recorded on your video. If you swipe this way, you can go over to the single lens time-lapse modes, and you've got presets there too, just like I showed you before. So you've got time warp video there, and you can also add new presets. Then you've also got single lens photos you can take over here. That's just going to be a single flat photo that is exactly what you see in the frame. Now, if you swipe down from the top of the screen, you can go into some of the more general camera settings. You've got voice control, you can adjust the beep volume. You've also got quick capture here, which is really useful. You can actually start and stop recording when your camera is turned off. So your camera's off, you just press the shutter button here, the camera will power on and start recording. When you press the shutter button again, the camera will power back off. So that's really nice, so you don't have any standby time on your camera. You've also got screen lock here, which you definitely want to use if you're going in the water, just to make sure your settings don't get changed. Over here, you have your microSD card settings, so you can format your card here. It's going to show you the amount of storage remaining. And all the way over here, you have some more settings where you can pair a device, such as an external microphone, or you can also go into the preferences and change a bunch of different preferences for your camera. You can set up auto upload here if you're using GoPro's cloud storage. Subscribers can use GoPro cloud storage to keep all of their files, but these are very large files, so it does take a lot of time to upload those. It's up to you though if you want to keep all your files there as a nice backup. You've also got your basic general camera settings there where you can adjust the beep volume. One setting I definitely recommend changing is this auto power off under the general settings, and just make sure that your camera is set to power off if you forget to turn it off. That way you won't end up with a dead battery. Your GPS settings, GoPro Max 2 has GPS built in, so if you want to record GPS stats, you can turn that on. And after you've recorded your video, you can swipe up from the bottom of the screen, and it's going to show you the last recorded video. You can play it here, but you can't swipe to look around the video. You can just switch between the different views. You can also delete them. Then you can swipe sideways to see the different media you've recorded. If you tap on the grid, it's going to show you thumbnails of all the files that are stored on your camera's microSD card right now. And then you can scroll through to find the ones you want. When you're done recording, just hold down the power mode button on the side of the camera, and your camera will power off. You can also use the GoPro Quik App basically as a remote to change all of these settings on your GoPro Max 2 camera. So when you tap on this icon down here, you can connect your GoPro Max camera. This is the main screen to control your GoPro Max 2 remotely. And you have these options here to switch between modes and change settings without seeing the preview. Or you can tap on this right here, enable preview, and that's going to take you over to see a live view through your camera's lens. When the app's connected, you can basically see exactly what is in your camera right here, and you can actually drag around the screen to see what you're filming. The phone app basically replicates the screen. You can switch between the different modes. You can start and stop recording by just pressing the red shutter button right there. And you can also change all of the presets and settings right here, just like you do on the touchscreen. So this is a great way to have a remote control for your GoPro Max 2, just using their phone you already have. Next, I want to talk to you about one of the funnest things of a 360 camera, which is mounting. I'm going to show you guys how to mount GoPro Max 2. GoPro Max 2 has two different mounting options here on the bottom of the camera. You've got either a 1/4-20" thread here, or you've got the GoPro style mounting fingers. I really like the option of having both of these options right here on the camera. It's just less adapters you have to think about. The best way to mount the camera is to a pole like this, and then you can get those invisible selfie stick shots. All you need to do is screw the camera on using that 1/4-20" thread. You want to make sure that your camera is straight with the pole so you can get that invisible selfie stick effect. The second option for mounting GoPro Max 2 is by using those mounting fingers, which is a more traditional style GoPro mount. And then you can just attach it to any 3-prong adapter like this, and you can attach the camera and screw it in using a thumb screw. This is better for like POV style shots where you actually want to rotate your camera, so you're going to be capturing just out of one of the lenses. That way you can rotate the camera to get the angle that you want. So now I've got the camera mounted and I've got these protective caps on the lenses. You'll obviously want to remove those once you go to start filming. Because GoPro Max 2 is a super wide angle camera, anything that's on those lenses will definitely show up in your shot. So you just want to make sure the lenses are nice and clean and scratch free. There's a few different mounts you'll want to use with your GoPro Max 2. You'll definitely want to get an invisible pole like this one, so you can extend your camera out and create more distance between you and your camera. This is going to give the camera the effect that's super far away, and because that pole disappears, it's going to look like the camera is just floating behind you or in front of you, and that's basically one of the coolest things about a 360 camera like GoPro Max 2. This here is GoPro's extendable pole. It's a little bit more heavy duty, but it's also a little more expensive and heavier. So if you're looking for a lighter, cheaper pole, you could get one like this, which is Insta360's invisible selfie stick. It's very lightweight and it's also relatively cheap. Both of them have that 1/4-20" thread on the top, so it's really easy to attach Max 2 to the end of those poles. A lot of these poles can also be used with other mounts to mount it off your equipment, off your vehicle, and just create that floating camera effect. GoPro Max 2 is one of the most easily mountable cameras due to its small size, and also these mounting fingers. So if you want to mount it to a POV style shot, like this one, this is the chest mount, you can just use those mounting fingers to get it in a nice, easy position. And now when you have your camera on your chest, you can get a nice, super wide perspective with great stabilization. You don't always have to mount it for that invisible selfie stick effect. There's lots of other great things you can do with it. I also have tons of other great mounting ideas strewn throughout my GoPro Max 2 book, so check that out if you're interested. As far as taking GoPro Max 2 in the water, GoPro Max 2 is waterproof, just like this. This is great for filming action sports that are above water, such as filming waves or filming water skiing, jet skiing, surfing, whatever you're doing. However, you don't want to film underwater with GoPro Max 2, and that's because these curved lenses will actually create blurry footage underwater. To film with GoPro Max 2 underwater, you have to use a dive case specifically designed for GoPro Max 2. Supposedly GoPro is working on a dive case for GoPro Max 2, so once that's available, I'll put a link in the video description or pin a comment or something just to let you guys know, but that will be a huge game changer once that dive case is available, and hopefully that's soon, but who really knows. Now that you've got your camera all set up and mounted, you're ready to film some shots. So I want to give you a few filming tips to give you success on your first time filming. Attach your camera to an invisible selfie stick like this. Make sure the lenses are super clean, and then start recording. Extend your camera out to create more distance between you and your camera, and then just kind of walk around and film some shots. If you haven't filmed with a 360 camera before, it's very odd to hold your camera straight out and not technically point at what you're filming. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. And then just kind of experiment with the angles. If you hold your camera higher, it's going to look a lot different than if you hold your camera down low. Also, hold your camera kind of smooth while you film, because even though Max 2 has great stabilization, the angle of where you have your camera is still going to affect your shots. Now go film a few clips, and when you come back, I'm going to show you how to transfer the footage and do a few basic edits on your photos and videos. Now that you've got some files on your camera, it's time to transfer them over to a phone, a tablet, or a computer. First, I'm going to show you how to use GoPro Quik on a phone, just because this is the most thorough method that GoPro has for editing your 360 footage. First, make sure that your camera is powered on, and then open up the GoPro Quik app and tap on this icon right here that says GoPro. You should see your camera here on the screen, and once it's connected, you'll see this dashboard here. To view the media that's on your camera's microSD card, you can just tap right here to go view media. Once your media is open, you can see thumbnails of all the files on your camera's microSD card. If you want to preview the files, you can tap on them, you can squeeze your fingers to adjust the view. You can move it around, you can rotate the screen to see if it's something you want to keep. If you decide you just want to download that one video file, you can just tap the download icon right here. It'll save it to the Quik App media library. You can also select multiple files at a time. If you know you want to download more than one file, you just tap on select here, and then just tap multiple files, and then tap the download icon, and then it's going to start downloading those files to your phone. Once the files are downloaded, you can either tap here to view media, or I'll show you where you go if you're just starting from scratch. You can go to this home page and then tap on media, and that's going to show you the most recent files. Once they're downloaded to the Quik App, you can tap on one of the files to open it, and now you can make some edits to that clip. There's a few icons here available on this page. If you tap on this one, that's going to edit the video. You also have here, you can grab a screenshot from it, or you can delete the file. If you want to play the video, you can just tap the screen and push play. You can play the video and preview it. I'm going to tap here where it says reframe, and it's going to give you a few different options to reframe this video and turn it into a flat traditional video. The first thing you're going to want to do is choose the aspect ratio. So go here and choose the shape of your video. So do you want to have a horizontal 16:9 video like you'd see on YouTube, or are you looking for a vertical video that's a 9:16 video like this? Once you have your aspect ratio selected, you can just go on the reframe icon right here, and this is where all the different tools are available. Reframing is what it's called when you take your 360 spherical videos and you pull out a flat traditional video out of that video. And there's a few different ways you can reframe your videos here in the GoPro Quik app. I'm just going to show you some of these examples here in the tour because it actually gives a nice display of what's being done. And the first method is using keyframes. When using keyframes, you make a marker of your view, and then you switch your view around, make another marker, and then the video will transition from one view to the next using those keyframes. This is the most customizable way to reframe your 360 videos, and it's what I usually like to do. Another technique you can use is called object tracking. And this is another great way to reframe your videos, because with object tracking, all you need to do is select your subject, and the video will automatically follow your subject around the frame. The next technique is called motion frame, and with motion frame, you actually move your phone to kind of match what you want to see in your shots. In my opinion, it can be a little bit hard to move your phone exactly how you want it to, but this is a great way to do it, and I know a lot of people like to use this. The next option is a POV shot. So if you've got your camera mounted on your chest, for example, it's just going to keep the same view looking forward. And then the GoPro Quik app also has all these camera effects, so it's going to have different transitions. So you can use some of these camera effects to get nice motion on your 360 videos as you reframe them. So if you want to use keyframes, for example, you could add a keyframe here with this little blue plus icon. It's going to add a marker of this look right here. And then you can move to another shot here and say you want to pull out further, so it's a more wide perspective. You can just use your fingers to do that and then add another keyframe. And now it's going to transition from what you saved on one keyframe to the next. If you want to use object tracking, all you need to do is make a little square around your subject. So you just draw a little square. It's going to frame your subject, and it works best if you can see your subject's whole body. So you pull out before you do it, and then just choose start tracking. And when you want to stop tracking, press this button right here, and it's going to stop tracking your subject. Now if you go and look at the clip, it's going to go from my keyframes, from one keyframe to the next, and then it's going to transition over to object tracking here. So it follows me as I move around. There's also other tools down here at the bottom, such as filters to change the overall color grading of your image. And once you're done making your edits, you can push save. Then you can just export that video to your phone's photo library. So if you just tap on this icon here, it's going to give you the different export options. You're going to want to do a standard one that's reframed, not a 360 video. And then if you do save to phone, you'll see there's some different quality adjustments you can change right here. So if you tap on quality settings, it allows you to export that 4K video and which format you want to use. And then tap on continue, and then that video is going to export to your phone's video library. If you want to export your videos on a computer, you can just remove the microSD card from the camera and insert it in a slot if you have one, or connect it using the USB-C cable. Then transfer your files over to your computer, and you have to open them up in GoPro Player, which is GoPro's desktop editing app. GoPro Player is not the best desktop editing app. There are keyframes, so you can keyframe your shots, but there is no subject tracking. If you want subject tracking, you can just export your videos from GoPro Player, and then you can bring them into Insta360's app, and you can actually use subject tracking in there on your GoPro footage. Or if you export your videos through GoPro Player, then you can bring them into Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve and use a plugin there to reframe your shots inside of those apps. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and know a lot more about your GoPro Max 2 now. If you want to know some other really cool features about GoPro Max 2, check out this video here where I dive into GoPro Labs and show you some of the cool features that are available for GoPro Max 2 beyond what's in the camera.